Hi, I am Nusrat. I am presenting a critical analysis of the impact of spatial organization on the rehabilitation of third gender communities in Bangladesh. Introduction. Hijra people are neither man nor woman, or they are both, or they have a male body but a female personality, or vice versa. They are referred to as the third gender. Third gender is third in position. A male is the first gender and a woman is the second, weaker compared to a man. In Bangladesh, the GOB program for social and physical rehabilitation of upset neighborhoods, including Hijra, under the Prokolpo Asrayan-2, the GOB has followed the conventional rehab concept to ensure human rights for these minority groups based on spatial segregation or social inequality. In contrast, the Hijra community lives in a remote culture and educates its members like Chela adjacent to where they reside. Their residences are not only for habitation like traditional housing but also serve as institutions for newcomers who are torn off from family or society. The study aims to investigate the spatial organization or homemaking concept of Hijra based on their communal living in the context of Bangladesh, as well as how they perceive the concept of homemaking spatially. From history, Hijra is initially rooted in the Semitic Arabic root hir, which usually indicates leaving one's tribe and migrate to another group or escape from one place to another. Also, Hijra is derived from the Persian word his, which means ineffective or incompetent. There is a mythological belief that they have spiritual power of blessing and curse. Hijra community in India worships the goddess called Bohuchara Mata. Enoches have been historically traced to the 16th century Mughal Empire. These Enoches and Hijras have some similarities and dissimilarities in terms of ritual, kinships, and patrices. However, Enoches and Hijras were merged together and are known as Khwajacharas, and Hijra became of the historical and political performances. British colonial state criminalized the non-normative and non-binary sexual minorities under the terms Enoch. They declared Hijra as a criminal through Criminal Tribes Act in 1871. In 1884, they combined the 377 acts to prohibit unnatural sex. All forms of Hijra activities were banned in Pakistan. It was then revoked, but the Hijra became socially stigmatized, deprived, and weak. In Bangladesh, trans are usually called Hijra. Since 2009, Hijra people are in Bangladesh have received the right of vote. Hijra recognized as the third gender category in all official documents including passport in November 2013. In 2014, the Gazette was published. According to the Ministry of Social Welfare, there are around 11,000 Hijra in Bangladesh. In Dhaka, there are approximately 80 Guruma. Every day, each trans must pay 1530 taka to their Guruma. These trans are also associated with crimes. According to social welfare, allowances for older Hijra under the Social Safety and Net program, a scholarship on education for the Hijra community, livelihood training program including cooking, beautification, and a small grant for starting their business. 10th June 2015, Hijra and ethnic groups of Bangladesh can receive bank loan for their business. The GOB has decided to recruit Hijra for traffic police and government job. Reasons that Hijras are forced to leave their family member and social society cannot accept their behavior. Society treats them as a curse. Society and friends always cut jokes. Society mentally insult and torture them. Actually, in Bangladesh, some organizations or NGOs are more interested in incorporating Hijra in health research or treating them as a risk factor than creating a platform to achieve their rights. Laws for Hijra in Bangladesh. Article 27 says that equality before the law and equal protection under the law. And Article 28 prohibits discrimination based on sex, gender, race, place of birth, religion, and so on. According to religious belief, there are no clear statements about property share for the transgender in Islam. They are not clearly banned from getting paternal property after their parents die. Problem raised from opponents preliminary the following concern. There are no mention of transgenders' rights to property in religion. So, what would be the share given that they are not binary? Is transgender equality important to reduce crime, enhance to the economy, enhance social value? Transgender people often face serious discrimination or mistreatment at work, school, and in their families and communities. For example, trans peoples are more likely to be fired or denied a job, face harassment and bullying at school, become homeless and live in extreme poverty, be evicted or denied housing or access to a shelter, be denied access to critical medical care, be locked up or targeted by law enforcement, force abuse and violence. The study methodology or research epistemology is, this study implied a variety of qualitative method to conduct the ethnographic research. The epistemological position of this study is postmodernism, which provided a set of tools and technique ways to critically analyze daily lives. The research has explored the aspects of a certain culture, including its value, behavior, and beliefs, through a long-term data collection process and a diverse range of data recording methods that aim to document what actually going on. It has taken a naturally going on setting through participant observation and personal engagement. Here the chart is showing data collection. Data collection methods were narratives, dialogues, interviews, participant observation. Participants are about 20. 5 interviews with high ranked Hijra and 5 interviews with low ranked Hijra. 5 interviews with Hijra, those are living their families, those are living with their families, and 3 interviews with Hijra who live in dual identity. Data analysis, interviews of Hijra and participant observation and field notes. The method of analysis, narrative analysis and thematic analysis, and the process of analysis, lived lives through the narrative, the personal stock of memories, cultural stories, and situation of individual. And perspective observation, the case study analysis, and identifying the key themes. In the second phase of data collection, the data will be collected from the NGOs and government officials and social welfare minister. So NGOs, that would be the number actually around 10, 3 and 1. The focus group actually NGO, and then the one government office for from the Ministry of Social Welfare, government office from the Human Rights Commission, government official from the Bangladesh Police, and Ministry of Social Welfare in People's Republic of Bangladesh. Data analysis would be the thematic analysis, data transcriptions, and looking for patterns and analyzing the themes. We can see here the affective kinship, a complex assumed kin ties of Hijra in Bangladesh, a guru-centric institution, a politics of taking achla and getting a empowered guru, a shared relationship between guru and Chela. Hijra has no identity without guru. Guru is the guardian of Hijra. One must take an achla under a guru to be identified as her Chela. Here we can see a chart where the Guruma, under the Guruma, non-Guru, and non-Guru has two Chela, and each Chela has Nati Chela actually. In this Nati Chela actually has Puti Chela. So this is the kingship of this Hijra community. The hierarchy or governance system of Hijra, in the right side we can see here in the first layer, Muktiya is the chief of the Hijra community and connected with everyone. In the second layer, Nayaks get more powerful by formulating their power, and Malik gets powered by having para birit. And in the fourth layer, Guruma positioned bottom of the power. At the right side, we can see 6 type of Hijra occupation like Chela, Mangtiar, Hijra, and then we can see NGO Hijra who has an institutional affiliation. Night Kamer Hijra is actually sex worker. It Chela Mangtiar Hijra actually seasonal Hijra. Hisha Qatar Hijra daily paid labor, and Doler Hijra follows the conventional Hijra pawn. Here we can see actually doing or redoing gender. Doing gender actually accountability, divided into accountability and performativity. Actually accountability for self or society or other activities dependent, and performativity actually depending on daily life, daily performance, work in or in workplace or in organization, actually based on their performance. We can see here 3 Hijra houses in Bangladesh. These 3 Hijra houses are Shambazar, the most dominant Hijra house, Muslim Hijra house, free from actually Indian Hijra house. Then the Ghum Ghar, actually known as Ghungru Ghum. Then the Machoa. This is actually very tiniest group among these 3. Relationship between Hijra and other social actors, like they are reasonable acceptance among the low income group. Low income people take loan from Hijra with interest money. They maintain suitable connection with their neighbors, council members and local gang. There is an uncomfortable relationship between NGOs and traditional Hijra. Here we can see a chart, actually the showing the relationship between Hijra and other actors. Case study Pioneer. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has given a cluster of dwelling called Pioneer on 0.66 acres of land to 50 members of the Hijra community in Sirazganj Upazila. 4 houses have been built, each with 5 rooms. Goat, cows and cultivation land, ducks, pigeons were also provided to the Hijra. Participants like Gori or others said that they didn't have any kind of dwelling space, and now they have a dwelling space. Living without fear of discrimination and violence and being supported and started being who they are is critical for allowing transgender people to live healthy and safe and fulfilling lives. Actually, they are victimized by society, police and other sectors. Some reasons are actually failing this project, but failing some initiatives to bring them in the mainstream are wrong mindset and interview process and medical test, which is actually expelled from family and society also sometimes from Hijra community. Recommendation and conclusion. These pictures are showing that some Shisho are trained in the dwelling space of Hijra community. Here the chart showing that in a community a place is allocated for Guruma, and another place is allocated for Shisho, and another place is allocated for training center and for the community. So we can say here that the dwelling space should be act like a institution or institution for the fellow Hijra. We can say that adaptation of laws that gives trans people full and equal rights in all aspects of life, ensure that all fundamental rights such as the right of education, health and work are protected. Discrimination simply based on gender identity should be made illegal. Any form of harassment or humiliation is prohibited. Psychological care and counseling should be properly organized. Assure the rights of self-identification. Ensure that they have the right to inherit property based on their self-declared identity. Their housing should be like an institution where they can educate their fellows. The results of this study will create a scholarly insight into the Hijra community, challenging both political and socio-economical dynamics in Bangladesh, and will help stakeholders develop an acceptable housing policy for the Hijra group. These are the references. Thank you for your time.